Okay, looks like you guys can see me. I cannot see anything, so I'll just talk. Hopefully you can see me. All right, so I was going to answer just a few questions that I was receiving, and then I was going to give you guys five like quick habits that'll just help you guys stay consistent with eating your keto foods. So first of all, the question I received was how often to recalculate macros. And I would say you probably don't need to recalculate them any more than once a month. And even that might be pushing it unless you have like a big significant weight loss month, then you probably don't need to recalculate any more often. And that's just because the reason, so when you're calculating your macros, it all starts with how many calories that your body needs. And that range, you've got to, your weight has to change quite a bit for that to change significantly. So you don't need to constantly be changing them. But if you lose any more, say 10 or 15 pounds, then you're going to want to recalculate your macros. And I would say on an average weight loss plan, like the 20% mark, it's going to take you probably a good 6 weeks to lose about 10 pounds. And that's a good goal for maintaining the weight loss. So you shouldn't need to recalculate, I would say, any more than a month, unless you have a big weight loss month there. And then somebody had asked what supplements I take. So I want to start off by saying that I really I don't like to give supplement advice because my supplements are targeted for specifically my body. So I see a functional medicine doctor, and she runs my labs a couple times a year, and she can see where I'm low, and she can target my supplements for my body. So I think that everybody should definitely do that. That it took me years to finally just go get that done. And once I did, it changed everything, because not only did she add supplements for me, but she also wrote some prescription supplements, some prescription hormones like testosterone and progesterone. But that's got to be done by a doctor. That's not something that you want to do on your own. So I do have a few vitamins that I feel like most people should be including in their diet, like a good multivitamin. And I personally take all the doTERRA supplements. I've taken those for about 7 years now, and I stand by those 100%, but you just have to find what suits you best. So I would say a good multivitamin, a probiotic. I take the doTERRA one, and then I also mix it up with one called BioCult that I get. I think I get it on Amazon, but I've gotten it a few other places. And then a digestive enzyme. And most people are deficient in magnesium, but once again, that's something you want to have your doctor test, and they can make sure that you're giving the right amount of vitamin D. And then most people are these days are getting deficient in magnesium. So I love to take magnesium before bed. I also like to do an Epsom salt bath because that's a great way to add more magnesium naturally to your body. But then, as we've discussed in the modules, magnesium is going to be important for your electrolyte balance. So magnesium supplement might be okay, but most certainly anything else you'd want to be making sure that it's targeted for you. So I also take an adrenal blend, an omega, and then I do vitamin B12 shots twice a week. But that's all done through my doctor. And she's actually in this group. Her name's, I think in the group it might say Beth Ann, but she's my functional doctor. If you're looking for a great place to go, she is at A Balanced Life in Morton, and I love her. She's awesome. So I don't like to give supplement advice because everybody's different, and that's something that you need to work with a medical practitioner so that you're getting specifically what your body needs. The next thing that I received actually quite a few requests about is my coffee. So I'll do an actual video making it. I just got busy this morning with e-learning, but I wanted to show you. So I start out with this. It's Creo Brew, and it's a cacao bean that's ground up, so it looks like coffee beans in here. And I do half Creo Brew, and then I grind my own coffee beans every morning, and I do half coffee beans. So about 3 or 4 tablespoons of Creo Brew, 3 or 4 tablespoons of coffee beans, and then I put them in my French press. I hope you guys can see me because I can't, it looks like I'm talking to a black screen. So hopefully this is all showing up here, but I put them in my French press, and I just fill it to about here with water. I let that sit for about 30 seconds, and it'll form kind of a crust on the top. And I let that sit for 30 seconds. Take a wooden spoon. You don't want to use metal or anything that's going to break the glass, but I take a wooden spoon and stir it up, and then you can kind of see the crema coming through from the beans, and it'll be like a light tannish color. Then I fill it to the top with water, and I let this sit for about 5 minutes. and then I plunge it so you have your French press, I plunge it, and then I take the coffee and dump it into either a blender, or I have like a handheld whisk, like it's a milk frother. That's if I don't feel like washing my blender, this is my lazy way of doing it. But I just blend that in my Yeti, and then I keep it in my Yeti thermos because it keeps it warm. I add 1 tablespoon of the MCT oil. I got this one on Amazon. I've got a few other ones that I recommend. This is the one I have on hand right now. So a tablespoon of this. And then I usually do 2 tablespoons of a good high quality pasture raised butter. So that you want unsalted, because salted would not taste very good. But unsalted, this is really no different than putting cream in your coffee if you think about it, because butter is made from cream. So I just blend that all together, and it's really good and it's really filling. And because of these healthy fats, it doesn't break your intermittent fasting because there's no carbohydrates involved, and it keeps you full so that you can last until whenever your eating window is if you're doing intermittent fasting. So I'll make a video if that's helpful, but I wanted to share that tonight just so you guys had the information. And then I just real quickly wanted to give you guys my 5 tips for just staying consistent with keto, because keto is a lot of just cooking at home, really. And that's actually what I prefer to do because I do have some food allergies. I just find it's easier. Oh, somebody wants to say hi. You smell good. So these quick tips. So first of all, planning. Planning is, I love to plan, but it's the easiest way to stay on track, because if you know ahead of time what you're going to be doing, it's never a question of what's for dinner or what are you going to have for lunch, or it's last minute so you grab something quickly. If you have a plan for what you're going to do, that's the number one way to stay consistent. And then to go hand in hand with that is prepping your food. So I pick usually Sundays, and I showed that in the module. I have my groceries delivered through Instacart. It saves me several hours every week, and it's $100 a year. So I feel like I save that in gas money alone, and I don't have to go into the grocery stores. But so this is just my routine. I have my groceries delivered usually on Saturday, and then Sunday I will just get everything cleaned, washed, chopped up, whatever needs to be ready for the week ahead. And then I'll usually have like a protein, usually chicken breast, but something, don't spill that. I usually have something that's quick to throw on a salad or into a soup, or just eat plain in the fridge, so that if I'm in a hurry, I can even just grab it and eat it in the car. So having something planned and something prepped is most certainly the way to stay on task. Honestly, I'm home every day, so you would think it would be easier for me to be able to just I stick with it, but it would be easier for me because I'm home. But it's actually when I worked full time, it was easier to stay consistent with everything because I took my food with me. So, honey, why don't you scooch over there for a little bit? So, yeah, have a plan, and then definitely take some time every week to prep. And really, I get this down now to less than an hour. And I also, while I'm doing that, have something going in like the Instant Pot or the crock pot, and I make sure to make a double batch so that I can eat that as through the week as well for lunch or dinner or whatever. I shared my bone broth recipe today on my story on Instagram. I'm not sure if that shows up on Facebook. I need to figure that out, but I can definitely make a video for bone broth as well. It's super, super simple, and it makes everything, like when people come to my house and eat and they say my food's so good, I think it's the salt I use and the bone broth, because I'm not that great of a cook. But just having things that are staples like that in your fridge and freezer is also just a big help as far as not getting bored with the foods you're eating, but you're also adding a lot of nutrition into each meal. And then my third habit would be just to keep it super simple. Like I said in the modules, I eat the same things every day and every week. And I know for some people that can feel boring or mundane, but I would recommend trying to do that for at least 4 or 5 days out of the week. And then, 1 or 2 meals you can have fun and make a recipe, because when it's just a habit and you can just quickly add everything in your grocery cart, you know what you're prepping every week, and you know kind of what to expect, it's just easier to get in that rhythm. Now, maybe that's just working for me, but I feel like most people at least the people that I know that are very healthy, are always maintaining their weight, and this weight loss is never a struggle for them, are people that eat the same things almost every day, or at least consistently throughout the week. Like we probably eat the same 5 meals. Oliver, you can tell them what we have for dinners every night: tacos, his chicken Alfredo that he loves. We don't have the noodles, no, but we have the chicken Alfredo. And sure, we have the same things over and over and over. And then on the weekends, we mix it up a little bit. Or on Sunday, I'll spend a little more time cooking a fun recipe. But for the most part, it's the same things over and over. And I kind of can change it out with different spices, or I make a really yummy pico that I can share the recipe to. And that kind of just, I look forward to it every week. So just the top three here so far are planning, prepping, keeping it simple. Just when things don't feel overwhelming, I know at first, like when I like to start something new, I want to get all the information, or I want to get all the recipes, but then I feel overwhelmed, so I don't do anything. So I would just meat and vegetables to start out with, maybe a different meal here or there on the weekend, but to start out with, just keep it super simple. Now, these next two are going to seem really silly, but I know for myself that when I started doing these two things, cooking and staying on top of everything became just super, super easy. So the first one is I always keep my refrigerator super clean. You're laughing at me. I'm super organized about it, and I don't keep a whole lot of food in there because when it's stuffed packed, like when it's jam packed full, it's hard to feel inspired to cook or to pull the vegetables out and cook them when you have to dig for them, and then you find some that are moldy and some that you're not sure about. Like, so I just buy the vegetables that I know I'm going to eat for a couple days, or about 5 days, and that's it. Like, that's about all you're going to find in my fridge is like the staples, like butter and condiments, his milk, and some vegetables. But that's about, and then whatever I've prepped, but that's about it. And so I find that just having a super clean, very minimal refrigerator has been key to like staying on top of food prep. And we don't ever waste food because you can see, open the fridge, you're either going to eat this salad in the bowl or this soup in the bowl, or you're going to have to go cook something. But so just keeping my fridge super cleaned out, super tidy. And then the one that kind of goes hand in hand with that is I shouldn't say never, very seldom are you going to find a dirty dish in my sink. And that wasn't always the case. And I'm not perfect in a lot of ways, but I am on top of my dishes. So I always have my dishwasher run at night, and I get up in the morning and unload it. So that's always where they can go right into. But I don't feel when my kitchen's a mess or there's a lot of dishes, or, I don't want to cook. I don't want to do anything in my kitchen. But if I just make sure that kitchen every night before I go to bed, this kitchen is almost spotless, because it's going to make my day operate so much smoother the next day. And I feel inspired to whip something up, or just even to cook him breakfast, cook him a healthy breakfast, like an omelet or an egg or something. If the kitchen, what are you doing? Oh, if the kitchen's clean. So I know those seem silly and they're not specifically related to weight loss, but just having everything clean and organized and simple is the easiest way to stay on track. So I'm going to look through here. I don't know if anybody has any questions. I know I went probably kind of fast. But if you guys have any questions for me, go ahead and post them or leave them in a comment in the Facebook group and I'll address them. And if anyone had any trouble calculating their macros, send me an email or send me a message and I'll definitely help you get those calculated. Let's see, is there anything else I wanted to say? I think that's it, but just when it all boils down to just keeping it simple and building the tiniest little habits into your day. So every morning, unloading the dishwasher, every night, cleaning your kitchen, having your dishes completely done. So when you walk downstairs in the morning, you already don't feel overwhelmed for the day. And it's easy to just keep up with those healthy habits. So I will talk to you guys Thursday in the live, and I will try to get a couple more videos up this week. I wanted to get my food prep routine up for you guys, and I'll get the coffee up too. So thank you guys for watching.